Hello and welcome to the Irish Hunting Podcast, the no bullshit podcast for the outdoor enthusiasts. If you're into hunting, fishing, fine wines and even finer foods, you've come to the right place. So pull up a chair. Hello and welcome back to the Irish Hunting Podcast. On this week's episode number 51, we will be discussing the recent rumours of the commercialization of hunting. Which side of the fence are you on? We will also bring you a roundup of news and events from around the country. And this week's Let's Talk Gear section, it's the turn of the Primos Tripod. Hope you all enjoy. Anthony Grogan, how are you getting on, lad?
I'm good, Brenny. How are you?
Not too bad. Fresh smile you're looking.
Gosh, thanks very much.
You're in good old order, lad. You're flat out with training now.
Well, no training. No,
but you're looking trim.
Look, sure, I'm sick pulling deer, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's fucking terrible, isn't it?
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
It's grand.
Sickening, but sorry, go ahead there.
And then, look, I was going to say I'm holding up the sale podcast, but look,
oh, yeah, absolute dickhead. Oh, my Jesus Christ. I won't mind, before we had this guy, he was so sympathetic to me and he was like giving me all advice, and then the minute I hit record, you cut the two boots out from underneath.
Look, man, you wanted more fun and giggles. I'm giving you more fun and giggles.
yeah. Insults, man. I'm getting from all angles.
Yeah. How are you keeping?
I'm getting on all right, man. I'd be an awful lot better if you stop bringing this fruity shite around the place. Telling me you're forcing me to drink. Man, that is just like Hop House 13 in like a fancy looking bottle.
Look, what he has here is premium Belgian delirium. Anyone who knows anything about anything knows this is... And this ain't fucking cheap either, Cunty. I tell you, after stopping and off on my way, I'm buying a premium Belgian beer.
How much was that?
What you reckon?
I wouldn't pay fucking... I wouldn't buy it anyway.
It's about $4.50 a bottle.
A bottle, is it,
yeah,
man? Yeah. Saw you coming anyway, 110%. That looks like something like that was left. That's like one of those things you see on a shelf and you go, what the fuck's that stuff? But you never buy it. Do you know what I mean? Looks like it's been there since about 1994.
It's great gear, man. You have to pour the whole bottle into that.
Here,
throw the rest of that over here.
No, it's gone.
It's
gone, lad. It's gone. I won't quit cribbing about $4.50.
He's like this fat.
I nearly give you the $4.50.
Do you ever see the fuckers, at the restaurant, and they finish the plate, like nearly lick the flowers off the plate, right? Yeah. And go out and say, Jesus, well, it wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't gone.
Wasn't great.
Look, it was all right.
As he's licking the grease off the finger. Do you know what I mean?
Suck the marrow out with a bone. No, look, it's all right. It's not as bad as Hop House 13.
Well, now, in fairness, in my defence, right, it wasn't the one that I was looking for. I knew there was a little bit of a hoppy taste off this one, but I love them type of beers anyway. There was a more fruitier version, which I knew I wouldn't dare bring in, but we went for something different. We're pairing it with the Black Betty.
Yeah, Black Bushmills is absolutely class. Black Barrel, absolutely love it. Like, honest to God, right? No, I'm not. This is a disclaimer. I'm not telling people to do this, but I guarantee it. Like, I'm just putting this beer on my nose here, and I would argue that if you got a warm can of Carlsberg and fucked it into a jam jar and sprayed a bit of Windlean on the lid of it, smelled the exact same as that.
This man is going to one of the poshest hotels at the end of the month, right? Talk about a waste. What's that? What's that flower doing in my plate? Some chef
sitting up at the bar. What do you have? I'll have a can of Bulmers and a bag of bacon fries.
do you know Owen, actually, from Doug Gunrod, the friend of the podcast, but if anyone could hear some of his voicemails, he's a legend, this man, right?
Yeah.
But he can't make it next week, right? Which I was disgusted about because he's some crack in the pub.
Yeah.
He's going to Luke Combs, but he's going to try and drag Luke Combs back out the roaches.
After party out the
roaches. And if
ever
a man would drag him, he would. But
yeah.
He says he's staying in, I don't know, he said, I'm staying in the Hilton or a posh fucking hotel in the middle of Dublin, right?
Jesus, yeah.
So he said, you can imagine me now at 2:30 in the morning with a big bag of chips and a quarter pounder up at it.
I can picture him, man. Check shirt open at the bar, 2 buttons, cowboy hat to one side, big blood pressure heading him.
Screaming out the fucking window, Luke, we're up here. Party on.
She got the best of me. Oh, for fuck's sake. That was class. No, thanks very much. And a massive shout out to Bambi Grogan for giving us 2 of these I don't know. What is the correct name? You that knows everything.
I don't knows everything. Not just, that's not a dig, Ran, is it? See, it's either I'm straight up. I come out and say this fucker. There's subtle digs he gives me. You know. I don't know what kind of glass. There's some sort of a read. Can you read there?
A whiskey tasting glass.
Sorry, I forgot you. Give it over.
Capturing it's Tua, the Irish whiskey glass, capturing in a single glass the generosity of spirit of the Irish. This is cool as fuck. We'll have to put some pictures up of this. It's you were telling me like there's a. We'll have to put pictures up. There's a.
Yeah, there's a reason, but it's slanted. It's kind of lies flat on the table, so there's a little chunk going out at the bottom of the glass, so it can lie kind of almost horizontal, and it's supposed to give more air to the top of the whiskey, so you get more flavour and that kind of stuff. And they look fucking shit cool.
They're savage. I fucking like them. Yeah. So, Mrs. Grogan, thank you very, very much for them. If you're listening,
thank you very much.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's very, very nice of you for our birthday.
She's our biggest fan, and as she loves to tell me,
yeah.
So, and she is a great advocate of the podcast and great supporter, number one fan.
Yes, fair play to her, man. I love it. Come here. What's going on? Birds wise, gun club wise. What's been happening? We're getting closer.
We're getting close. Yeah. Obviously, we split the birds. We're starting to drizzle out some of the stronger ones. Mm-hmm. We're keeping behind the slightly smaller birds. We've 50 adult birds coming, I think, next week, if I'm talking to Shane later on, and 50 then before Christmas. We've split them.
Okay.
So.
Oh, sorry. They're not. You don't have them yet.
No. We've 50 more adult birds. So we've 80 birds that we bought in. 85 we bought in. We reared probably 15 ourselves. So we about 100 between the three pens. Now that we're drizzling out.
Okay.
And then we've another 50 adult birds coming in. So again, depending on how big and strong and wily they are, we let out the wily ones, and so we're not gonna release all together. We're going to start drizzling them out. So because as one of the lads said, there's a temptation by some to go out and shoot like fuck in the first week, and coincided with the people who did the least amount in the club. So we're trying to counteract that as all the politics and the bag limits and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's the theory. We're going to start, and we'll be a little bit better. As I say, we've learned some lessons this year.
Yeah,
we're learning all the time. Obviously, we didn't have one big pen this year, which was utilised for holding back some of our cocks for our breeding program. Mm-hmm. They're going to be held back in a smaller pen now of the tree, and we'll do a small breeding program. And the two bigger pens are going to be held then for let grow wild, bit of seed in them, and let them be coming on for the next year. So that's where we kind of look at. It's an evolution process. We're twice as good, better off as we were last year, and if we improve it next year, we'll be happy. I think
savage. Super stuff, man.
How are you guys going? You had a bit of a setback, I suppose, and how is it?
Yeah, no, we've lost one or two more since, obviously not to a Pine Martin, but we had look, they're going well. Not as good as last year, probably. We really struggled now this year with trying to get lads to do stuff this year. So, but look, we'll talk more about that. I have some stuff I'm probably going to do maybe a bit differently next year. But we struggled a little bit this year. It's probably the birds. They're good. They are good. Probably not as good like last year. I'd say I think we may have lost one bird in transit last year. And honest to God, up until the time they were released, I genuinely don't think we lost one, which is fair going.
In fairness, the weather hasn't been great this year.
The weather has been shite, man. The weather has been absolutely outrageous. But they're going fairly well. Going out, I think some of them are going to be let out now on Saturday. The boys are going out to fill up the feeders. I'm struggling time-wise at the minute, just this year with the podcast and everything. It's just really, really busy. So I haven't been able to do as much as I would like to do. So we're relying on, of course, one or two lads in the club to do it as per usual. It's a bit messy. This year's messy. Now, just on the Pine Martin of the things, I was talking to a fella today who was chatting to a game dealer, and he said this has been, the reports he's been hearing, it's one of the worst years ever for Pine Martins and lads losing birds. Have you heard any? Have you? Yeah,
well, look, they're definitely more visible, I think. I've seen loads of stuff on Facebook of lads losing birds. So look, I don't know. Look, it's a bad year in general.
Yeah, it is.
Weather-wise and so on.
And I'm actually surprised. Sorry, I'm not interrupting you. I'm actually kind of surprised there hasn't been more birds lost from the weather. It has been fucking horrendous. And we had bolts of thunder and lightning for a couple of days there.
Well, this look, as you know, I spent most of my summers going up and down to Galway for the last number of years, and Avril has been posted down there, generally for the best part of the summer. She works from down there with the kids, and I travel up and down. But this year, definitely out of the last 5-6 years, has been the worst summer that we can remember.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, we've got probably 2 days outside on the deck, this year compared to fucking weeks.
Yeah.
You'd be,
it mightn't be scorchers every day, but you could still sit out.
And you have a beer and barbecue beyond. It'd be warm and so on. Now, it was warm in fairness, but it was just horrendously poor.
Yeah, not the nice type of warm. Yeah,
No.
I was just thinking about it the other day. The last year, and obviously I was away for a good few years, but the last summer I ever remember being as bad as it was 2002, I think it was.
Okay.
I do remember one summer in particular. I was fairly young, and I remember we were, myself and my dad, a few of us were doing a big job on my granny's house, all new windows and a new roof and the whole job lot. And that was during summer holidays, and I remember, man, we struggled because every fucking day it was raining. But yeah, it has been fucking horrendous.
Yeah, look, and like what you said, hopefully people are not losing too many. I do know it's hard to get the condition that you want on the birds, because obviously they're in pens and so on. So we're trying to do now is we're going to put a few. We've heavily trapped around the pens this year for mink, and that's hopefully helping.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put a few feeders around the pens, and we're going to start to trickle them out, and then we're going to put an exclusion zone obviously around the pens. One of the pens is actually in a reserve anyway, but then an exclusion zone around the other pen that nobody's allowed to shoot, obviously around the pen, because believe it or not, you would get some idiots that would go in and would try and do that. So that's what we're going to try and do, just to give them a chance to start branching out, getting up and roosting in trees and stuff like that, and maybe putting on the last bit of condition and so on. And then for the first couple of weeks, we'll probably limit the amount of hunting.
Yeah. Give them a good chance.
Yeah.
Give them a good chance. Many lads out for foxes?
I haven't got out at all. I think that me and you were talking, I have a little bit of work to do, because I actually changed. Remember, my rail came loose, as I said previously, so I have to re-zero my pulsar. And then I want to do a test, but I think we're going to do maybe a day on a range, me and you, and
absolutely,
maybe get Rob as well with the chrono, put a few rounds through the chrono, get everyone on zero, and then I'm going to start switching on and off my inner mounts and putting them to the test.
Savage.
So it'll kill two birds with one stone, because I think we're obviously having a little bit of a trip planned next year as well, or next month.
Yes. Holy shit, that's next month.
Yep.
Holy fuck, yeah. Okay.
And
whoa. Yeah, right.
So that's small matter of a small trip. And we also need to get the muzzle velocity with muzzle brakes, wherever we're bringing over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll kill two birds with one stone. I was thinking today on that trip.
We'll
do through the silencer.
Yeah.
Out, and then it's only a matter then of re-zero and really quick at 100.
Yeah.
And then you have all your holdovers then.
Savage.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
It's where I thought this through, man.
Yeah, it's where I think I actually mentioned it, but anyway.
Did you? If anyone fucking believes that now,
No, definitely agree.
That's what we need to do. We just need to do.
I was out last night. I sent you the video. I'll actually put the video up. People can have a look at it and see what they think. I was out last night with the 1.7. Didn't leave here till fucking 10:30. So I just went out for kind of a quick bit of a squiz, bit of a look around the place. Went up to a neighbour's dairy farm up the road. Went down, saw nothing. Wind. It's just the way that farm is. You can't come into it from any other direction, and the wind's always in your back. So it's kind of a waste of time. But I just went in anyway, because you just never know. So I've often walked right to the end, and then on the way back, come across them.
Yeah.
So I went there anyway. Didn't see anything at all. Came home through the van in here, and then just went for a walk across the road, just into that field across the road. And sure as eggs. Now, I had a couple of things. I had my handheld thermal with me, and I mustn't have had the case closed on it the last time I used it, because I flicked it on, and the next thing I come up, battery flash, and it was dead. So I was like, oh, Jenny. Then I had a head torch with me as well. And
dead.
Almost. So it wasn't going great. But anyway, saw a fox. I'd say I got within 100 yards of him. And I've sent you the video. Look
at in your defence, man, right? And like this, every time you miss something, you the first thing you'll blame is yourself. You know what I mean? As do I. I'd be my worst critic. But like if I think you have the 170 to 80, isn't that correct?
Yeah.
If that's 80, that fox is lying over. I just think that fox was probably closer to 100, maybe 120, 110.
Yeah.
Because either that or it's the luckiest fox. It went in through the very top of his shoulder, like the fur, underneath his neck and without hitting him, because it didn't hit him.
No, definitely.
But you were on. So two things I just check for E0, obviously. Because there is a bit of a kick out of your 1.7, man.
There is a little bit when you see it in the video, can't you?
There is a kick out. And look, I've been up close to it, so I just be, just, and it's been a while since you re-zeroed anyway, is it?
It is, yeah, I haven't re-zeroed in a while now. The only thing that has me kind of, I suppose, questioning things, the last time I used that, I've used that a lot more lately for rabbits, like. And I went out, I think some of the rabbits we brought down to the trip that time, McKeeve was with me. There was one, the many, it was about 130 yards. Like a rabbit head is an awful lot smaller than a fucking fox, and it absolutely was nailed him, lad. I think I even put up the videos of it. And it nailed him. So I was a bit, didn't know what the story was last. I was surprised, I suppose, but then I will say one thing further from that. Lately, even though I fucking haven't really shot fuck all with it, but with the 6.5, I fired a lot more rounds with the 6.5 lately.
Yeah.
And I'm now used to the trigger. And the trigger on the Creedmoor is light, really sudden, no travel.
Yeah.
On the 1.7, it's light, but there's a lot of travel.
Yeah.
So it almost like last night when I fired a shot, I was like pulling, and I actually kind of went to stop. I thought I had the safety on.
Yeah.
There was a lot more travel in it, and then bang. So I was a little bit,
Look, in the video, obviously you're on the quad 6, which are generally more, but there was a little bit more up and down, which would coincide with what you're saying just before the shot. But in all fairness, you were on the lower side of the fox rather than the higher side.
I was.
But I still think if that's on, if it's on 0, I think that it's either pushing out the distance, because it wasn't wind. So
no,
that's the only either he was a little bit further away, or else it's just off 0 slightly, because you were rock steady on it, man, at the point of
when the bullet trigger.
Look, people see what we mean when we put it up, but no, I wouldn't be overly concerned. Be. I think with the rabbit as well. Just I don't know whether you find this or not, but when you're looking through the scope, obviously when the rabbit's standing up, his head is quite long. Do you know what I mean? So you think of any small target, I know, but you're generally aiming, in around the eyeball, because of your.
Absolutely.
You have from there down to the, which is, whereas when you were firing last night, you were on the kind of, as people might envisage, the head, the fox was kind of grazing.
Yeah, he was,
and you were kind of underneath his chin, that type of level. You know what I'm saying? So look at
it was unusual now, but look, it is what it is. Really, with a 1.7, I probably should have been going for a headshot anyway. But I just wasn't. The distance wasn't too mad, like. So I thought I'd go for it. But anyway, and the worst thing was, could you see that in the video? One of his legs was fucked. Yeah. So I don't know whether he got a belt of a car. I don't know what happened to him, but one of his legs was pretty fucked.
He's seen you before.
He was running fucking flat out for me at one stage.
Broke his leg.
Fucking leg.
Look at you. Get out. You seen one. Nice night for it.
Yeah, it was grand. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was a nice night now.
Nice.
It wasn't too late home. It was home around, I'd say, probably 12:30, I'd say.
Were you out on your own?
Yeah, I was on my own. Yeah, I wasn't even going to go, and then I was going to go then around 9 o'clock, and then a fella called here, and sure, you start chatting and the whole lot, and then it was after 10 o'clock when he went, and then I was saying, and I had it in my head, it's like, no, this is the one night now you're going to get for yourself to go, so just fucking go. So I just come in, grab the gear, and just only went up the road, so it wasn't too bad. Like,
good stuff. And you've a wee bit of hunting packed and ready to rock and roll for tomorrow.
Ready to rock and roll now in the morning, man. Yeah, heading out for deer now in the morning
good
as well.
Stuff.
Yeah. So
for the very, very, very best of luck.
Sound as a pound, lad. Sound as a pound. We do a bit of news.
A bit of news, yeah. What do we have?
Well, we haven't got a whole lot, but I'm going to just kick off. One was just one little thing that I seen on social media last night, and I had a chat with Mick today, and I only got talking to him for a little minute, but sad to see that Wild Hunter in Galway have closed their doors. I think the store is officially closed now, if I'm not mistaken. And over the next 2 weeks, people that have firearms there can still be accommodated and stuff, and but the store itself, as far as I'm aware, is officially closed.
I'll miss this like a hole in my head because obviously I frequent the store pretty regularly down there. I've been in it numerous times this year, among other years. The lads down there were extremely helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Good lads, great shop.
Yeah.
Very sad to see it go.
Ah, man, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Very sad to see it go.
Yeah, sad to see it go. And I was actually never in it, but I've seen videos on it and stuff. You were in it, like savage selection and stuff.
Jeez, yeah, and like
in a great spot too, like.
Oh, brilliant! Sure, just outside, like, and in an efficient hotbed there as well.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, now Brian and Mick will clarify, but I think that's where it started. If I'm not mistaken, did it? The Galway shop open first, did it?
I didn't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
No, geez, I could be fucking way off.
I thought that one wasn't that long open, but I could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
I could be wrong. But anyway, it's sad to see it anyway, and I hope that Wild Hunter will be maybe looking for another location somewhere not too far away, and they'll get her up and running again.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Absolutely. Look, the shop is going from strength to strength anyway. So yeah, look, it won't be the end of the lads. It'll be the making of them. I know they'll come back stronger and bigger than ever. I've no doubt.
Yeah.
And it'll reinforce the team there.
Yeah.
And they'll come up with a plan, and I've no doubt we'll be seeing plenty of the lads.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Last bit of news, big news.
Well, it's the biggest news of the year.
It's the biggest news. Forget about what else do we have this year? The war in Ukraine. No. What else do we have this year that happened?
What do we have?
I think Ireland are playing in some match, or I don't know.
The Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, forget about all that.
All that jazz.
Just forget about all that.
Yeah.
Next Friday, where are we going?
We're going to. It's the Irish Hunting Podcast 1 year birthday.
Yes.
Bash.
Birthday bash, man.
And we're going to go socks. We're going to do a day's fishing.
Yeah.
We're going to have big breakfast. We're going to have tea and sandwiches.
Yes.
Mustard
and ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't bet.
Cut tea and maybe a little hip flask, maybe.
Yeah. Now, can I just say something here for a second, right? When you say mustard, like, we'll get to the main news in a minute, but mustard, like, a little bit of mustard. Are you one of these lads that like plaster?
Oh, no, geez, I wouldn't plaster now. Just a touch.
Like Coleman's mustard now, or American
Coleman's.
mustard. Oh, yeah, it has to be Coleman's, yeah.
American mustard's not mustard.
No, it isn't. No, you're right.
That's more like fucking vanilla sauce or something.
Yeah, old soft.
Sweetie stuff.
Old soft fucking stuff.
No, I like that the American one on a hot dog.
Yeah, on a hot dog, yeah. And in certain things, things, certain things. I don't mind glazing the ham sometimes with it. Put a bit of that in the glaze.
Yeah, look, if it was, I could stretch that far.
Yeah.
No, you can't have enough hardship on a sandwich.
No, you can't. Absolutely.
You always remember, I got memories of anybody who's been to a GAA match in Ireland in the league in the middle of pits of winter, as we did as nippers. My father brought us all over the country following Kildare, and I'll always remember the likes of Portlaoise or Tullamore before they fucking done it up, and so you're in with all due respect now to the Midlands, but you're in nearly as bad as Newbridge, but you're next door to fucking jizz hell. There's a concrete. I never knew what they were like. There was don't know there was the stands, but they had the concrete like. There were concrete barges, with holes in them that had held a litre of water in a pothole in the top of them, and you just sit your arse down in these. If you dared.
Clonmining.
Yeah. But yeah, he used to bring the flask of tea and the sandwiches and a bit of mustard. My mother would have a few sandwiches prepared and a bit of mustard, and you'd be fucking freezing. Like the hands would be perished. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be perished, and sometimes, more often not, Kildare wouldn't give you a whole pile to be cheering at, so you wouldn't have to. He'd be trying to be tucked in, and I remember half time the cup of tea and the mustard sandwich. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah. An interesting fact on Coleman's mustard: my brother and sister Andrew and Lorna, you bastards, if you're listening, when I was only about, I'd say, 4, they got a dessert spoon of Coleman's mustard and told me to eat it. And of course, sure, when you're 4, what do you do? Straight into the mouth, lad. And I was turned off it for fucking years.
Were you?
Yeah. So I only go back to it now. Yeah. So if you're listening, I'll fucking get you back. Don't worry about that.
The only thing I can't stomach, man, is Bovril.
Whoa.
Bovril,
Yeah, right.
Oh, jeez. Do you like it?
Yeah. I don't love it, but I don't mind it.
No.
Do you know what I actually do with Bovril? Me and one of the lads.
Fuck it over the hedge. That's what you do with Bovril, man.
I just put it in brown bread. Just butter it straight onto a little bit of brown bread.
That makes sense now, man.
Huh?
It all makes
I tell
sense.
you, lads, good old gear.
Why did you 4 when the mustard went in?
No, I'm telling you here now.
There's brain damage there, horse. Bovril.
You have a little bit of that now on Friday, and you'll have some thirst on your hive when you go to Roaches.
Oh, you would, yeah. You would,
will.
yeah. You'd be fucking puking from here till the Roaches.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to set you a little challenge now. And I tell you what, I'm going to go one more. No, I'm going to go one more. I'm going to get you some Vegemite.
Not a fucking...
No,
I knew
me.
I was going to go Marmite.
No, listen to me.
Jesus Christ.
A toasted ham and cheese sandwich and a little bit of Vegemite. I guarantee you like it. 110%. Will you try it?
I'll try it.
Yeah, I'll get it.
I tried Marmite. I don't know about it. It was always the thing. I used to watch it and say, like, either love it or hate it. No, you don't. You hate it. It's just simple. Everyone hates it.
Everyone hates it.
The odd person likes mustard. You know, it's kind of split.
Yeah.
Nobody likes fucking Marmite, and nobody likes Bovril, man.
Vegemite savage.
Oh, jeez, the fuck. My father used to. I'd be working on sites with my father when I was nipper. Like, he'd bring me up to Donnybrook and stuff like that. And I was only from the time I was 9 or 10. I'd be tagging along with him and helping him and so on. And it'd be fucking the pits of winter, and it'd be freezing cold, you know.
Yeah.
And then you'd see this jar of fucking treacle taken out and a spoonful of this stuff put in the cup.
The water. Oh, yeah.
And from afar, it looks like
savage.
Heaven.
Yeah.
You know, the hot water and the steam coming off it, and this cup of what looks like a brown soup.
Beautiful.
And then you have a sip of
Gravy.
it. Oh, mother.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, jizz, not lad. It's class. No. I'm telling you here now, it is. You have to try the Vegemite. 2 slices of batch bread, right? Like, don't put like not like a sandwich maker sandwich. 2 slices of batch bread, bit of ham, bit of cheese, bit of Vegemite under the grill. Take it off. 110%. I urge everyone out there. You can get it in Tesco. Go in and get it and try it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Look, I'll stand to be corrected, but
it's good gear, man.
Yeah, I don't know what is Bovril made from, man.
Oh, I don't know. Hardship.
I think it's something to do with an ox or a cow or something. But
there's definitely.
I reckon it's the glue that holds the hoof onto the cattle's foot, man.
Yeah. And a half a glass of squirrel's tears.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. It's savage stuff. Come here, back to our big news.
Big bash.
Big bash. Next Friday night.
So we're going fishing. We're going to do a bit of pike fishing. We're going to have loads of like fucking challenges and competitions and acting the maggot. And and we're going to do a bit of pike fishing with some friends of the podcast and friends of ours. Yeah. And then we're up to Roaches until the
the sinking pub.
The sinking pub. Loads and loads of history in this pub.
Yeah.
Owned by previously owned by the famous Roach family. Mrs. Roach was huge historical. I think, as far as I know, she is. Geez, I'm going to say this, but she is a relative, or a descendant of Kevin Barry, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, there's people here listening to this, then that is not correct.
I could almost guarantee you he has that wrong. But anyway,
look, I've never. But it's Barry Kevin.
She might have drank Barry's tea now, for all we know. We just don't know.
No, she huge. A very, very well educated. I could speak a couple of languages. Anyone who frequented the pub would know her well. And obviously the pub has changed hands and a few times since then. But it's gone from strength to strength. Yeah. New ownership.
Hasn't changed character. It's
not
still
at all.
That lovely for people that haven't been there. This is the pub you see on the postcard. This is the pub you would see on a postcard of Ireland.
It's a stereotypical Irish pub.
Absolutely. Tin roof.
You have to bend down going in the front door. You skull yourself, as I have done many's a night coming out of it. Yeah. I remember going in but not coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then it's the funniest pub in the world, man, because you go in there and everything's off level because it's obviously in the middle of the bog is sinking.
Yep.
So you go off level and Jesus, the more pints you get into it, the straighter you become. So it kind of has this equilibrium effect that, you know, as the drunker you get,
when you go in
the
first,
straighter you become.
Yeah, but when you go in first and you have your first 2 or 3 pints and you forget like the floor is slanted, you're kind of going, Jesus, I'm half fucking jarred here. But it's not, it's just the
and then you become nearly a ballerina then, but until you come outside and gravity kicks back in again. They've reserved little the snug area from behind the bar for us.
Yeah.
we're going to be there from 6 o'clock onwards till late.
Yeah.
We've a few drinks and we've loads of friends of the podcast coming across.
Yeah.
People are going to dip in and out, say hello, happy birthday on the podcast. We're going to record the podcast kind of live.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a bit of crack with a few friends. On the night, and we're going to have plenty of slagging, old stories, and there's going to be the fish are going to get bigger, the stags are going to get bigger, the pheasants' tails are going to get longer.
Exactly.
All the usual old stuff.
Usual old crap. I can't wait. So look at anyone that's in the area that wants to pop over and say hi, come on over.
Yeah, we'll be doing all photos and all that kind of stuff all night. So you get a photo with the Irish Hunting Podcast, and we'll give you a shout out and so on. And if you want to dip in and say hello and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'd be delighted to see everyone.
Absolutely.
I think there's a big enough crew gonna come.
Exactly. Yeah. How big now? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe too big. Some people might say, but sure, look, it'll be grand.
There's plenty of room in the bog.
Yeah, exactly. There's no fucking shortage of space out there on you. 100%. Yeah, without a doubt. But good old crack.
So that's news. Yeah,
that is the news wrapped up. That's the biggest one. We're moving on. We're going to talk something. We're going to keep it lighthearted because we get a bit heavy. We don't, but there's an awful lot of stuff going on Facebook and stuff like this. But I suppose there's a general kind of what would you say, a worry out there?
Yeah, a little bit of a push towards probably the commercialisation, I think, of hunting, isn't that it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we're not trying to be... I know, obviously, there's meetings going on during the week, right? And I think, to be fair, there was there's three sides to every story, right?
Yeah.
I think from what we can gather, it was a kind of an IFA arranged meeting, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was probably a slant put on it from certain quarters that there was kind of, a push towards the deer fraternity trying to grab land and so on.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, somewhere in the middle, the truth lies. There is, as we all know, look, let's call a spade. Out there, there is a grab of land on for both leasing and people. We've heard, like, probably last week, we've heard loads of stories about people misrepresenting themselves as members of the department and so on and so forth under the guise of getting hunting and taking care, in inverted commas, of deer problems with TB, which I think is blown out of all proportion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So while it is a problem, don't get me wrong, I'm not,
Yeah, it is.
But I think sometimes it can be used in the wrong guise. So yeah, that's what we're here to chat about.
Yeah.
In a more broader terms, we do not condone. I want to say this straight off the bat, because we do not condone bullying or vilification or harassment of any one or two or four or five individuals.
Yeah.
That's not our gig, man.
No.
If somebody has an issue with me, I'd say it to their face, and then I'd appreciate if they said it to me.
Yeah.
That's just the way I would operate. I don't, and you're the same. So
absolutely,
we don't want anyone being, or anyone's families or any of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
However, I think if ever was a wake-up call for, and I mean this as a shout out to all organisations, and all members in the higher echelons of all the organisations, not picking any one of them, I would say to them that, judging by the response that we've got and the responses on Facebook and so on, there is a huge, I mean an astronomical pushback towards any of this.
Yeah.
So I think organisations need to remember the reason they're there is to facilitate hunters.
Yes.
They're not there to impose rules and and regulations and this person should be hunting here and that person should be hunting there. That's none of their business.
No, absolutely not.
Provide insurance, provide backup, provide subsidies towards courses.
Yeah.
Ensure that there's enough courses on throughout all that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree.
Hunters,
yeah, definitely. I think and just further on from that, I think any organisation or group, if I thought that any organisation or group that I was part of was trying to set something in stone that you had to be part of that organisation to do hunting, I would soon remove myself from that. It shouldn't be about that. And I'm not saying that is what's going on, but like in any group, but I'm just saying, for instance, like you hear all these things going around and all these other stories, and and we'd always take that with a fucking pinch of salt. But I just think, like, if I was starting an organisation in the morning, I would always remember that who am I there? Exactly as you said, it's for the normal 5'8", the normal Joe Soap on the ground. 90% of the correspondence we get, man, it's not from the big groups. It's from lads like me or you that are out hunting. We get messages. We got a message from a guy here. His name escapes me. He was out yesterday and he got himself a stag and he was delighted with it. And those are the kind of lads I think we kind of maybe not represent, but you know what I mean.
Well, we give it a bit of advice to. We hope.
We hope. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, I don't know. There's tons and tons of stuff, and I agree with absolutely everything Anthony is saying there. As I've been very vocal in this, I never ever want to see a day in Ireland where you get paid to hunt deer.
Yeah,
and
well, look, I think, Brenny, it's there's a clash here because, right, if we talk to some of the organisations, there's a problem with deer management in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
So that's across the board. That's what they believe in, and that's what it's been said. And there's calls for culls and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But yet we're here, as you said, representing the ordinary hunter. Mm-hmm. And how many messages have we got with hunters that can't get ground to shoot on?
Oh, man. Yeah.
So there's something wrong. So we've organisations here representing the hunting fraternity.
Yeah.
And yet we've hunters who can't get land.
Can't get land, yeah.
So you tell me... so on one level we're saying, there's a problem with TB and there's overruns and we need this and we need, and there's a little bit of an overemphasis on that. Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with one of the guys in one of the upper echelons. I got his take on what was happening during the week off record, so I'm not going to quote who it was and so on. But look, the conversation went like this, and I said there is room for every hunter here in Ireland because we're not in huge numbers. And I said, I would hate to see the day where there's a cull called for in Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's coming. He said, that's, that there's need for a cull. And I said, not if every hunter in Ireland has access to the ground that should be access to them.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Untethered and Wanderwise, where adventure has no age limit. We're your co-host, Heidi Brandist and Nikki Amahundro, and we're here to inspire and celebrate women over 45 who are embracing their independence and want to explore the world on their own terms.
And he was blaming all the outfitters, buying up all the leases and so on. I said, right, well, that's a problem that's easily solved. I believe that there is room for the commercial aspect in hunting.
Yeah.
Once the money that's generated from that hunting is some way ploughed back into hunting and conservation and so on. And it brings revenue and tourist streams.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the place in Ireland that generally wouldn't. In and around Wicklow, there's B&Bs and small rural pubs like we were talking about and hotels that are being brought to local, and there's been money spent in these. And the likes of the local gun shops and so on.
Absolutely.
Due to this. We can't forget that aspect of it.
No.
But obviously there's an emphasis on the stag season. Mm-hmm. But a simple solution would be then on them leases that are predominantly government owned or government, semi-state, but whatever you want to call it, let's call them. Why not after the stag season ends, then a separate lease opens up? You know what I mean? That would have some kind of rights to the local hunters or you know what I'm saying, or a smaller that wouldn't require you paying 10,000 for a lease, but it's a small, you pay maybe a nominal fee of 150 quid to shoot for a couple of months on doe season. And if you have that across the board, then you'll eliminate the worry then that you're going to push all the stags off this particular part of the ground, which would be a worry from the outfitter's point of view. If that makes sense. Yeah,
it does. Like, I think, I think, like, say, for the commercial outfitters out there, that goes on in every, well, I'd say most countries in the world. I don't have any issue with that. And I genuinely don't have any issue with that. If there's whatever lads is out there and they're making a few bob off, bringing people over and bringing them out hunting, I've absolutely no issue with that, because the money they're generating, and let's face it, man, they're out there 6 days a week hunting. Like, they are out there getting animals.
It ain't easy life.
No, exactly. And a lot of these lads are busy all year round. So in the months when the stag season's not on, there's still people are going and paying money to shoe hinds. They are, like, it's not all about the stags. So I'd have absolutely no issue with that. But just on that, when you mentioned something there, I thought was hilarious. they're talking about the culls, right? And some of these organisations that have land and people are paying money for leases. And they're all jumping up and down that we need a cull, we need a cull. And then 3 days into the season, they turn around and tell people, by the way, you can't be here. You can only come here on the weekends. Don't come here during the week. So straight away, like, you know, that's doing massive. Because we know, you know, lads that like, you know, maybe work weekends and they can only get out for so what's going to happen? A lot of them, like I guarantee you now, and I've heard this off a few lads that have paid into leases. After that news broke, right, there's not much you can do about this year. I guarantee you, come lease time next year, do you think them boys are going to hand out €600-700 for York and then be told, by the way, you can only hunt it? There's 10 lads on that lease, and between the 10 years, you can only hunt it Saturday and Sunday.
And here's another thing as well, Brenny, just on that, right? So say we're talking about semi-state bodies here that are leasing to leaseholders, right?
Yeah.
But there's also another part of this, right, which I don't agree with, man. Right? There's people that have gathered up large swathes of land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Permissions, and are then reselling leases.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
No.
That's kind of like ground that should be, you know, open if the farmer gives permission to whoever.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of these farmers who are given permission, these guys don't realise that they are then selling permissions on some of these swathes of land.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't really agree with that, because that's of no benefit to the commercial aspect in terms of bringing money in from, you know, flights, accommodation, hotel rooms, gear, the outfitters. You know, that's just putting money in somebody's pocket for practically doing fuck all. You know, and that's only my take on it. There's something kind of in my mind unmoralistic or, you know, dirty about that kind of. It's just something I wouldn't do. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think, like, look, there is an awful, like, there's issues with every problem. There's really issues with every single aspect of every firearms legislation, Wildlife Act in Ireland. Like, for every piece, there's not a piece of it you couldn't pick out of a fucking book now. Me and you could say, well, there's issues with that, like, but even on for that, like, some of the young lads, and we do get messages, and we help them everywhere we can. Obviously, even our ground, like, we haven't got, like, in compare, like we've the Irish Hunting Podcast going here, but we're not, like, we don't have thousands of acres of hunting. We're just like any other lad that's out there hunting. We've probably, what have we got each? Would we have 300 acres each?
Oh, jeez,
maybe?
if we're lucky,
you know what I mean? To hunt. So, like, we'd have lads, we'd help lads any way we could, but unfortunately we can't say, here, you come in on mine, because if you come in on mine, well, then I can't go in on mine. And then you wouldn't be, it's not like we have 10,000 acres and say, no, I don't know anything, you know?
Well, that's the thing, Brady. Look, we can't, because obviously the farmers have given us permission, have given us for a reason, because they know us and so on, and they're not, you know, givish with just giving out permission, which is absolutely is their right and prerogative. They know us personally and have a rapport. So it's a little bit difficult. But would I be objected or pissed off if that farmer gave permission to somebody else as well? No, I wouldn't. I believe that as, you know, an Irish person, as a person who likes to go out and hop my fence and hop into a field and go out and shoot fox, or maybe go down and shoot a couple of duck or whatever. I believe there's plenty of hunting for all the hunting people in Ireland, you know, definitely, if it's done correctly. Yeah. I just think we're it's similar to the government in this country. We're top heavy in a lot of areas. Yeah. In terms of, you know, 30 odd organisations in the country and very little hunters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. We seem to have a lot of people in a lot of high power positions making a lot of decisions for people down below who don't even know sometimes. Definitely. Like that meeting that was held, like, during the week.
If it was held, I don't know if it was.
It went ahead, seemingly, yeah.
Did it? Okay.
But, like, I'd like to know how many people were notified of the organisations that were involved there. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Or there was organisations probably mooted that were involved that weren't involved, or wrongly mooted. Yeah. So, like, there's all kinds of. We don't want to jump into the hysteria of it, you know, because we weren't there. We don't know the ins and outs of it. But and we've tried to get to the bottom of it. But look, people can make up their own. I think there was a lot of people at the meeting. Yeah. But the biggest thing that I have that I do know for a fact, that if any of the organisations believe that they're going to, or any of the people high up in some of these organisations believe that they're going to start moving in on people's ground, like myself and yourselves' ground, and start taking over under the guise of working for departments and taking care, and we're registered and licensed, you know, and kind of selling the big story to the farmers they're going to be met with huge resistance. I think that's the one thing that we can be sure of, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a thing that just dawned on me there, just as we were talking. I'd love to see, and if they have done it, they're all listening, send it on to me. I would love to see, when is some of these organisations going to just run a course, an introduction to deer hunting? Not one that you have to pay 100 or 150 euro for. Just one, just to show a bit of initiative to go, do you know something, if you're young and you're out there and you want to go deer hunting, we're here for you. We'll help you out in any way we could. I don't mean help you as in, we'll do a deer training course for you. I mean help you as in, you know, come to us. We might be able to put you in contact somewhere where there might be a bit of land. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, just actually have some sort of a course or something to say, look, if any lads, we're going to be down in the Midland Shooting Centre this Sunday. And if you're a youngster and you want to get into deer hunting and you're looking for, come down and just say, look, talk about calibers. Like, I know we've done podcasts on it, but I'm just saying, these organisations, instead of, you know, trying to, right, you have to, we're going to run this course because you have to have it. And it's going to cost you X, Y, or Z. And if you want to go on and you have to, and if you want to be able to get this section of a 42, well, you have to have that. And you'll have to do that with us.
Yeah.
You know, instead of that going, you know something.
You can get this here for that kind of money.
Exactly, without a doubt.
This is, I think we're on the same page here. Well, hopefully anyway, or else we're on the wrong fucking podcast. But like I believe like that the upper echelons of these organisations should be there as facilitators. So like they should be there not for any other vested interest. Yeah. I actually think that some of them should be there with a kind of Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, but like maybe the people who've gone through the hunting life. I believe when I get to, 50, 60 years of age, my best hunting years, like I'm not going to be dragging fucking trophy stags, up fucking the mountains in Wicklow at 60. I hope to get out maybe with my sons, pass on a little bit of knowledge. Let them watch them do the bit of work and the dragging and so on and so forth, and then pass on a bit of knowledge. And maybe to some of their friends who want to come along.
Do it.
I'll give a quick shout out to one of my friends, a very good friend of mine, during the week, brought a young guy out, a neighbour of his, who's a trainee chef, and is mad to get into the wild game and hunting and so on. Brought him out and brought him up shooting. They didn't get anything, but they got to spot a few does and calves and watch them. And he put the gun up and let him see through the sight, you know what I'm saying? And say, this is what you're going to be expecting to see, and see over there, you can't take that at this time of the season. And, then there was a call went up, so they heard, that's the call. It's all that kind of, you know what I mean?
100%.
It took, 4 or 5 hours out of his time and so on. But that's what these organisations should be facilitating, And as you said there should be a kind of a catalogue of here's farmers with issues and problems, right? And there you go. There's a little bit of permission there. I know you now. You're a member of this organisation. You're kind of vetted by a couple of lads here, and you know what I mean. You're a member of the organisation. Go up there and do a bit of shooting. There's permission there to shoot a little bit of land. Yeah, go up there and shoot it. And then next week, Johnny there as well. He's new. Let him go up there as well. Do you know?
100. I do. And you see, like as you were saying there, if the hard thing, and I'm not mentioning anyone's name or anything, but the hard part of that I know in the wider community, right? There is an awful lot of people up there that if a farmer came out and says, "Hey, come here, I'm crucified with deer here. I'm absolutely, they've me absolutely up the walls." That certain lads, despite having maybe a couple of 1,000 acres that they don't even get to hunt, will keep that for themselves. Yeah. It's like that old thing of, well, I don't need it, but I fucking don't want him getting it. No. Or don't want anyone else getting it, Instead of going, well, look, there's no point in me taking it because I just wouldn't have time to do it. But, I know a young fella there, here, come here. Will you do what we'll let her for this one? And he'll go in and look after the deer for you. Do you know what I'm saying?
And see the enjoyment through that person getting their bit of hunting. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just going to throw one name out here, right? And he won't mind me mention it. And I'm telling you here now, man, if he ever went for a presidency role in any game organisation in Ireland, Christy Malay.
Yeah, he's an advocate for new.
Man,
absolutely.
Like youth, getting him into it. How many times he texted us, such a fella, there's a young lad here, he's trying to get into this, even down to the firearms. He put out a message there asking people to donate old hunting gear that they weren't using, that he could help out other people. He's brought lads with him. Like, that is the kind of lad you want.
And look, there's loads of Christies in like Shane O'Neill, another one. You know what I'm saying? These people are dotted throughout the country, and I know they're going to be fucking horrendously embarrassed us mentioning them in that, guys. But they are. They're the lifeblood of the hunting community, and unfortunately they don't get the recognition because they're not.
They're not shouting from the rooftops.
They're not shouting, and they're not at the top tables and all the organized. And I know. I'm not. We're not. I know Shane's a member of the NIRGC, and
we're not having a go.
No,
we're not having a go at any of these organisations. We're just trying to think, how would we make the whole hunting experience better? How would we get more people involved?
Yeah.
Like we said from day one, with starting this podcast, is how do we create a community?
Absolutely,
for all.
Yeah,
you know,
and take and again, I am not. It's showing favouritism towards one, like the NIRGC, we're both members of it and all that kind of stuff. But like the NIRGC pumps money straight back into it, and we've seen the benefit on your club, my club, and
absolutely,
so on.
Yeah.
But and can they do better? Absolutely, they can do better. But it's going to take the likes of.
They know they can do it. They know there's other things they can do as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
but like, Jesus Christ, they're going the right way about it.
Like I think there's good strides being made. Can we do better? I think it's going to need the likes of, you know, ourselves and maybe the younger generation coming through as well to drive change.
Yeah.
To drive. There's some old habits and old kind of, what would you say? Old habits die hard, you know, and there's a lot of that kind of old ways of thinking. That's, you know, we need to shift away from that a little bit. You know, it's gone are the days where 20 men walk out on the 1st of November on every club, you know what I mean? Or 30, 40. You know, we're trying to get young people into the clubs now and see, look, this is why we do what we do, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need, like my mate brought his young fella or a neighbour his out hunting during the week. That's we need more of that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
More of that.
Yeah, definitely. I will be bringing one or two lads. There's one or two lads from around here that have been into a bit of hunting and asked about the deer hunting. And I said, sure, I'll bring you. Like, and you know, they were always like, "Jeez, would you like?"
Yeah.
Sure, why wouldn't I? You know, some lads would be afraid to bring kids. So just next thing that will be in here after me. Fuck that, man! If you had to start thinking like that.
Here's a question: what would you do if you seen somebody went up to a piece of land that you were shooting on, and a lad was dragging a deer down the thing? What would you?
What could you do? What could you do?
I'd nearly put a hand to him and do you know
exactly. Yeah, of course.
I couldn't give
fair play to that.
Yeah,
100%.
No, you got here fucking earlier tonight.
Exactly. You'd say something, you say, yeah, fucker, yeah. Would you say, I know, more okay.
Obviously, I'd give him a bit, like, horse, look, if you've no permission here, horse, if he catches here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't be condoning it.
No.
But I certainly wouldn't be fucking angry at somebody for shooting a piece of deer if they're going to be, like, I would be absolutely pissed off if a lad went up and shot a deer and left the fucking body of it and took the head off and all that kind of stuff.
Or if you had 3 or 4 lads going in and mowing them over because they're selling them or something like that, then no.
That's exactly. But if a lad went in and took a deer, would I give it? No, I wouldn't give a fuck, man.
No.
There's plenty of hunting. There is plenty of hunting for everyone.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not being spread across the board and I think our organisations as a whole, the whole lot of them, can do better to facilitate younger and new hunters. We've helped a few people get into the hunting game this year. The next challenge for them people, as they're already meeting, is to get the ground. Yeah. And that's where these, like, if I'm paying membership to an organisation, I need to know, well, look at what can you do for me? Can you give me insurance? Can you help me with getting land?
Yeah.
That I can get permission on? Can I get out for a shot? without paying
Is there
£1,000 fucking or
is there anyone in the club I could maybe go just to learn the ropes?
Yeah, exactly.
There that could, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, Jimmy there is fucking. He's not, the knees are bad, but he's still mad for hunting.
Yeah,
he'll bring you out. You'll do the dragon. Yeah, absolutely. That's, you know what I mean.
Happy days.
Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what they should be there as. And I think sometimes, look, I'm speaking for myself here, right? I'm chairman of the club last couple of years now. When I got into the role, be it rightly or wrong, I'm just hands up, You go into it and you kind of think you can change the world, you know what I mean? And sometimes you forget, why you're in that in the first place. Yeah. I'm there and it took me, I don't know whether it's fucking age or whatever, probably took me 18 months to realise, I was off driving, we need to do this and get it done. And kind of, you start to run it kind of almost like a fucking business or something, where everyone, and then you're taking all the fun and the what would you say, the reason why people are in hunting for the first place, Yeah. So you need to just pull back a little bit and say, right, well, what can we achieve this year? What's the what's the goal this year,
goal,
the target, you know, that everyone will be happy with.
Yeah.
And kind of set your own goals and targets aside and say, look, at what's the wider group happy with here?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
So I speak from a little bit of experience in that aspect. You know, I went in probably heavy and tried to do too much and too, you know what I mean, in a very short space of time. And looking back, there's great stuff happened. But it could have probably been done over maybe 3-4 years rather than a year. You know?
I know, yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, look, I think, I suppose, we could go on about it all night, but I think the main thing we want to talk about, obviously, there's this whole talk about the commercialization of hunting. We've spoke already about the headline that we've seen and the article about paying hunters to do it. I think we could both say we firmly would disagree with that.
Yeah.
That we don't. Do we believe that a cull needs to happen? No. I don't. Anyway,
I don't either.
To be honest with you, I don't think we're at that stage just yet. I think there's plenty of means and facilities and plenty of lads out there hunting that will do it if you just take down some of the barriers and just open up a little bit and just not be that old, you know,
closed door.
Lose a bit of the fucking paranoia, I suppose. Yeah. You know, let them out there. The youth are coming whether you like it or not. Like, it's simple as fucking that. They're that's the way it is. So, and I think if you're in any organisation that's out there, or new organisation or whatever that's out there, remember it's the lads on the ground, the normal 5'8", the normal Joe Soap. That's
There's a group of people, Brenny, right, that's building themselves up for a cull, right, and they're going to benefit greatly from it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very shallow pool of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So on the rest of it is the rest of us as hunters.
Yeah.
And I mean, I include outfitters, leaseholders, all that in that.
Yeah.
If we don't stick together and create some kind of a... And I mean, I suggested one suggestion there in terms of the leaseholding for, you know, maybe have a split lease or whatever. And I know that mightn't go down well with people, but I generally believe, if we don't change something and give more access to more hunters, then it's going to fuck it for everyone. If there's a wide cull in the morning, right?
Yeah.
What you're going to have is a load of people going out and commercializing it.
Yeah.
And they're essentially going to make huge amounts of money. Very small group of people.
Yeah.
For a very short space of time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in the situation where we're like in America, where you get a tag in a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what's coming. If people don't wake up and start worrying, but it won't affect me. I've my lease.
Yeah,
but make no fucking mistake about it, lads. If there's a cull coming, your lease is gone.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah, I would look at, like, myself, yourself included, lads our age, whatever age, if you have sons or daughters that are into hunting, that you would love to see them enjoy the same aspects out of hunting and get the same buzzes out of hunting that you do. You know, be bearing that in mind, that if a cull does come, or there's something drastic like that happens, that's gone. Like, you know, it's going, as hard as it is now for young people, say it'll be 20 times harder. Yeah, you know. So I hope to God it doesn't come to that. I really, really genuinely hope that it doesn't come to that.
I think that I remember years ago signing petitions for the you know, to stop the tar cull over in New Zealand. And like that, we talked to Stevie White in the podcast here about, you know, pellets being dropped from the sky and all kinds of stuff. And in a day of so-called, what would you say, global warming and global ecological crisis and so on, the thoughts of going out and culling the best of meat, or poisoning or trapping the best meat, and there's something that for anyone's listening who hasn't done it, you know, like I have this thing, you know, you're the same, you were born in the bog here no more than myself, and I remember the turf, you know, when you got the turf home every year and it's in the shed, there was something primal about, you know, no matter what kind of winter came, the house is going to be warm.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, a worry off the back. Yeah. You know, and I put up a post today with, you know, the meat in the fridge. And obviously, look at people are going to say, she can go down and buy. I know that. But it's the feeling of, do you know what I mean? No matter what comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing can come to a stop.
Yeah.
But I've meat in my fridge. You know what I mean? And I've firing in it. It's two of the biggest elements, you know, food and warmth.
And warmth, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
water being the last one, and then you're sound, you know.
I remember as clear as anything, just when you say that, like I can instantly relate to that. I remember when we came home from Australia first. Like we went out to Australia, like obviously we worked fucking hard. I was in the mines, I worked ridiculous hours. So we came back with a few bob for the house. So that was all put away, that was all pumped into the house. So then we came back and we were working. We had to build everything from scratch, man. We came home with 2 suitcases and a kid. So we had to rent a house, like, which is, you know as well as I do, was fucking horrendously expensive. When we came back first, we were only back, so we were both working shitty paying kind of jobs because we were kind of getting our feet again. You know,
starting at the bottom of the ladder again.
Exactly, start all over again. And like money was fucking scarce. There's no point in saying any different. Money was fucking scarce. And, you know, Cooper was like, he was young and he was a handful. And, you know, there were some fucking hard days now. There really was.
Absolutely, man, yeah.
And we were renting a house at the time. And, like, it was a grand house, a lovely house, but you couldn't heat it. Like, it was so hard to heat. And you would, you know, oil, man. We'd be getting €500 worth of oil every 3 months. Like, it was horrendous. Just, you know, that was just the way it was. Like, now, while we were grateful of the house, I'm not saying that, but it was just one of those how it was really, really hard to heat. And like the money we used to be pumping into it was unbelievable. And I remember one time the man that owned the house, there was a tree after falling. It was obviously it was coming into winter, and there was a big ash tree that was after falling. And I just remember he was there, and I just said to him, I says, what are you going to do with the tree or whatever? And he says, do you want it? And I says, well, Jenny, yeah, if you're not using it. He says, oh yeah, work away. I remember going and getting end of the chainsaw off the old fella. I went down and cutting the timber up, spent the whole day. Now, so you know how much work is like.
Oh, the warmer she'll be is today you're cutting it, yeah.
And cut it into rings, barrowed it up out of the field, split it with an axe and stacked it all up. And like it was been down for a while, like, so it was very dry. But I just remember sitting there that night, cold, horrible night outside, freezing cold. And Cooper was sitting up on the couch and I had the fire absolutely blazing, man. Yeah. And just sitting there watching telly. And do you know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to say is
launch to that, lad. Yeah, that is it doesn't get much better than that.
No, like you could have handed me €1,000. It wouldn't have got the feeling, the satisfaction in that my little fella was there and he was warm. He was sitting there in front of the fire and we were looking at the fireman. And I don't mean that. Like I'm not trying to say that like we hadn't the price of it. It's not that, but I just mean. Like I worked hard. I was able to secure a fucking full year's worth of fuel, and like you said, I was happy knowing no matter what weather came, we'd be warm. We will be fucking warm.
At some of the best memories I have, lad, are some of the toughest days. You know what I'm saying? And that's I think what you're alluding to there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's for you go through a struggle.
Yeah,
it's like the equation to hunting is no different. You go through fucking the hardship, you know, but the reward at the end of it is what it's the hunter's heroin. You know what I'm saying? We're chasing that constant feeling where, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're going up the fucking side of a hill or a mountain or dragging oh man, and you're questioning what it's all about. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're wet, cold, tired. It's probably pissing rain if you're in Ireland. Or in some other parts of the world, it's baking hot. Yeah. It's never ideal conditions.
No.
And you're pulling this yoke up a fucking side of a hill, sweating, and
if you're lucky.
Yeah. And but when you have that, after it's all done and you're looking in the fridge, I just think there is. It's the primal.
Yeah.
I know we keep referring to it, but it's something that's ingrained in you.
Yeah.
You just know what, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
That's my bit. Like,
and I think it's sad out there. Like, there's a massive amount of people out there. I nearly actually go as far as to say probably the majority of the people out there will live a lot of their lives and not experience that.
Yeah,
you know, it's,
any of that aspect.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. Like, you know, it is when you think about it.
And I think as well, without being fucking droll about it, Brenny, like there's I think the world we live in now probably it's everyone's instant gratification and so on, and obviously coinciding with that is a huge increase in mental health issues and so on, as we've spoke about. I just think there's you do a lot of running. After a run, and I hate every step of it. But the bit that I enjoy the most is the bit when I feel the worst.
Yeah,
as mad as that is when it's finished. Yeah, because you couldn't feel any worse.
Oh yeah,
you're bollocks tired. You're at the end of it.
Yeah.
But you're elated.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Because
100%.
It's the reward. It's the struggle. It's why people get up every morning and get out of bed and work in shitty jobs and in tough fucking gigs and foundations and digging and pulling and dragging.
Yeah.
And generally coincide with being the happier people, you know?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And like even like when it comes to running, and like running is, I'm just using running as an example, you could use it for a load of other things. But like the one thing you'll never do is you'll never regret doing it. Like you could be lying in bed and go, oh my God, which I often have. I used to be fucking for going like at 5 o'clock in the morning before I go to work. Be lying in bed like, and you could even hear it rain. Now, even if it was raining, I'd still go. And I'd be like, oh jeez, the thoughts of this now. You'd be like, I fucking can't be arsed. And then you just get up, because you know if you didn't, it'd be on your fucking mind all day. Like. But that's it then. Once you're up, you'll never ever regret. You'll never go and do the run and go, do you know, so I should have stayed in bed. Not a hope.
Just never once. Ever once.
And if you have a shit day or something, you can always go, cheers, don't be run tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And generally that coincides with a better day.
Yeah.
I think I've come from a hugely physical background in terms of work.
Yeah.
Worked physically all my life. Built my own house, similar to your own story. And the biggest transition I have in the last couple of years is I've obviously transitioned from a very physical to a very mentally based job now. Most of my work now is done, unfortunately, inside my small brain. And like that's the hardest challenge for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's to transition, but I can't measure my day. I can't say I can't look over it and say I built 200 blocks today.
Yeah.
I can't measure what I've got done.
Yeah.
And so I'm awake most hours of the night, wondering I should have done this, because I'm not physically tired.
Yeah.
I'm mentally exhausted, but not physically tired. And that's why hunting always brings me back. Always grounds me. It always, no matter, like I've the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
And there've been a few, and I've gone out hunting or gone out for a walk even with a dog, and you come back and I'm not saying it's all gone away, but it's better.
Oh yeah,
you know?
absolutely, yeah, definitely,
So,
yeah.
And the thoughts of probably having to pay for that privilege scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, man. Yeah,
it scares the shit out of me.
It's like me saying, going back to the tree. It's like the farmer. If the farmer had turned around and said to me, "Yeah, I give it to you there for 150 fucking euro," you'd be kind of going, "Well, now I have to take money out to do this." It's kind of counteracted.
Yeah.
It didn't, like, the best thing. It wasn't that it was free, but I wasn't having to take money from anywhere else. I wasn't substituting money for this. This is something that if I put in the work,
you got the reward.
I got the reward.
The farmer wanted to move. It was in his fucking way. So it was a win-win.
A win-win.
You know, nobody lost out of the transaction.
100%.
You know?
And like exactly like you're saying, if you had to turn around then and like fucking pay for it.
Was it worth 150? Of course it was. But the point being is the whole...
You're sitting down that Saturday night looking at a nice warm fire.
That cost me tenner.
And then, but you know, you're thinking, like, then, you know, the other side of it could be like, right, I had to take 150 euro now, you know, what do we do for shopping this week? Or, do you know what I'm sort of saying?
It gives you another problem.
Exactly. We were sitting there, it was lovely and warm. And now people going to be like, just a poor whore, like, we must do a grab on. I know it wasn't like that. I just mean it was just like, you know, things were tight. If you could save a few bobs somewhere, you know, and this was something that, like, look at this, we've got a beautiful fire. I done this. All I had to do was put some hard work into it, and we're set now for the winter. Yeah,
I think that's why the community that we have is so special. I think we need to protect it.
Yeah.
And without being too, I know we've kind of gone from lighthearted to being kind of, which we'll bring it back up again now in a minute. But you know, but I think it's important. I think it's important that when we need people's feedback and that, how people do they agree with us? Do you sit on the other side of the fence? And if so, why? I'd love to know if there's people on the other side where no, there's a need to commercialize it, or you know, what their thoughts are, because I can't see many benefits only to a certain small group of people.
Yeah.
And if that's the detriment of the likes of our fellow hunters, then I can't see a way that we would support it, or we as a community can support it. It's putting the final nail in our coffin, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so we'll have to watch this space. I'd say the next couple of months is going to tell a lot. I'd say I don't know if something will happen this season. I doubt it very much, but I think before the next one comes in, I think there'll be.
I would recommend, judging by the response, there would be silly people to try and do that, I think.
Yeah, oh man, 100%.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, that was one good thing to come out, but there's some people with very, very similar. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to fucking say it. I think probably the majority of hunters, average Joes like ourselves, would probably share our opinion on that. They don't want to see a day where like a select group or, you know, part of this huge big thing and you can't really be part of it, or you have to pay or whatever. I think they just want to kind of keep going the way they're going. Don't make it any harder for us to hunt. Just keep going the way we're going. Let's enjoy it. Let's get the number of deer down. Let's bring on the next generation behind us. Let's get lads out hunting.
Yeah.
Simple as that, isn't it?
Keep a manageable, healthy stock of all kinds of wild game so that there's, there's enough for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Case in point, man. Absolutely 100%.
Yup, yeah.
Yup or that. Come here. Do you know what we'll do now?
Let's do it.
And now it's time for a little thing we like to call Let's Talk Gear. We are back.
We're back.
What have you got there, lad?
This is, I suppose, this is going to split opinion now.
This is the area of controversy here.
Oh, Jesus, it's huge. We're mad for the controversy tonight. But look, as people who've listened to the podcast know, I'm not a huge fan of quad sticks. Mm-hmm. I'm not built for the complexities, so I just like something as easy as possible. And I've been looking. Mm-hmm. I actually got a kind of a. It was a single stick. I have one at home actually. It has just one stick.
I remember that. I remember you showing me that and went like.
I lost the fucking head of it nearly the first day I was out.
Yeah.
And then I moved on quite quickly to the tripod, because I just I prefer the versatility of this compared to the quad stick. As I said many times on the podcast, the ground I hunt is generally very unlevel, and this gives a kind of a mediocre hunter like myself the best chance, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So look, it's very simple. It's a trigger system you get with the standard Primus sticks. This is a generation 3, and I'd just like to give a shout out. Probably it's the Jim Shockey special edition set, and being prevalent. I know anyone who or a lot of people who listen to the podcast know who Jim Shockey is. He's a huge celebrity in the hunting world, and his wife sadly passed away there the week before last, I think, after a long fight. But very inspirational dude. So yeah, and basically there's a trigger on the top. In the standard Primus sticks set, you get like a forked rest. Mm-hmm. So you have a forked rest. And the gun basically, I used that all through my my formative hunting life, until I transitioned to the Spartan Davros head, which we'll speak a bit more about. Mm-hmm. But basically, there's three legs. You get quite used to when you're out and hunting, flicking them out really quickly, and then the trigger stick then allows huge adjustment. Left and right. We'll do a little video on it anyway. Left and right, just like that, and locks into position the minute you let off the trigger. Mm-hmm. It goes down. The beauty of this stick is, I suppose, it goes right down. So there's a little adjustment here on the side that will allow them to lock almost flat. Yes. So they can come out to that position. Yeah. So you can get really, really low. Yeah. Almost to bipod level, a little bit above it. And then I've modified this slightly, as I said, with the Davros head. There's all sorts of attachments you can get for cameras and for spotting scopes, etc. There's another attachment you get with the kit for there's a little screw module that'll screw onto a spotting scope if you want to use it as a spotting scope. Rest. And I know actually I've seen one of the posts during the week actually asking that. And it's very simple. There's a little green unlocking bolt there, and then this just pops out. So you can clamp that in really quickly. Mm-hmm. So you can have that in your pocket for your spot and scope. You say if you're up in mountain, you bridge the distance then, stalk in, and you have your pop on your rest of choice. Okay. They also have an accompaniment. It's a little bit cumbersome for me. Primus do. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a double rest.
Don't like it.
Wouldn't be a mad fan of it.
Yes.
Haven't tried it now, but like just find it clunky.
I actually seen one last night, and I was looking at it, and I think actually somebody had it for sale, and I just it's too awkward. It's too big, cumbersome, awkward. The jaws even adjusted on it. You could adjust the spacing of it, and it's
too clunky. I think
absolutely,
and that's why I probably excuse this the expression, but I've bastardized this. I've gone with obviously the Spartan sticks. I haven't had the pleasure of utilising them, but they're huge money. So I've gone with the Spartan Davros head here. I've a little pocket for with this. You get a little module for the gun where the swivel for the sling screws in. So it's one screw in. It's like I did a video on I think on our YouTube channel anyway to show how it's fitted.
Yeah.
And then this pops in, and it gives you lovely stability. Then it's magnetic. I think it's magnetic. It feels magnetic anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's also adjustment on the top of the Davros head. So that just, as we demonstrated before we came here, just loosens, and you give left to right more.
Change the angle, yeah.
Yeah, so again, there's a 360. This is the beauty of this stick. So you can stand in one position and do a complete treat. So if you have a deer moving from left to right and you're waiting for it to align with a backstop, you don't have to change anything on the tripod. Or if there is, if the angle changes slightly, you press the trigger and slightly realign your gun. And then on top of the Davros head, then you have even more movement. I lock it up pretty tight, but when the gun is on top there, you can adjust it left to right or level the gun.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of especially if you're going for the long distance stuff, you'll want your stock or your gun completely vertical level. So that's it in a nutshell. I like it. I think there's a few people that's come hunting with me this year who've been quad sticks guys, and maybe like this setup now. So I don't know. It's you have to try it. I suppose I would suggest the quad sticks you're not going to get more stable than the quad sticks.
Yeah,
if you get the nice piece of ground, there's no doubt about that. You will have slightly more movement in this because you've only a single arrest. Now the Davros head does give you more stability than the standard 2-prong jaw.
Yeah,
but you're still not going to get the stability of the quad stick.
Would you not? You don't think?
No, because you have a singular point, so you will have more up and down.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean?
But if it's tight in it, it should be fairly good.
Oh, absolutely. But like you'll still get that up and down. Now, not as much as the fork head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be honest, like a spade, right? I went out with you a few times. A friend of mine had a set of those before I even knew you.
Yeah.
And we used to bring them, and I thought they were with the standard V block on. And I was just like, what the fuck is this all about? I just didn't find the stability in it at all.
Oh yeah.
Now moving on from that, with the adapters and that Davros fitting, I will podcast disclaimer. I'm sold. I think. I really am. I like. It's very, very hard to see anything like that I don't like about that. Like again, the only thing I didn't like was the instability on the other one, where it's literally just a rest. Right, you could move the angle of it, but at the same time, there was so much movement.
There was a lot of play,
an awful lot. Whereas now with the Davros, you can essentially, if you have it set up properly, you're going like you can clip your gun onto that, and stand away from it. Yeah,
like now this is the one. I have two points now on mine. So I've put one near the front of the gun. Kind of like for the bipod / when it's folded out, you need further on, in my opinion. And then I've one slightly towards the center of the gun. Now I have an adapter which can screw into the butt of the gun. You can glue into the butt of the gun if you want, or into the stock of the gun, dead on center.
Okay.
But the second one that I have is not dead on center, so the weight of the gun does lean back on it.
Okay, does it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Now it takes very, very little. Like I mean, you're a gram of weight.
Yes.
On the back end, and it puts a lot of pressure on the thing there. So you would want the little adapter bang on smack in the middle.
Yeah.
To take 100%. The full weight of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah,
and then obviously it depends then if you're going to have your moderator on or off, or muzzle brake on or off, and then what type of scope and IR, and so that will all play into it. So I haven't bit the nail and said, because I don't see it won't be necessary me just at this minute in time. There is a pig saddle attachment you can get for that, which will, or a death clamp, I think they call it.
Okay.
So it'll clamp around the gun, and you can just leave it there sitting. But again, for the quick, this is really quick.
Yeah.
You have your hand on the trigger, boom, the gun is on, and then you're moving left, right, as you want to. Whereas with the probably ideal for foxing if you're sitting out and waiting. The gun is resting. But yeah, like if you still, I mean, you take a gram or two of weight and it's there, you know. So.
I look at, I'm sold now. I think it particularly suit my setup because it's so light anyway. Yeah. So, you know, I think if I had one of those, like with that type fitting, or maybe I'm sure you could probably get like that tier 1 adapter, like with the quick release like I have with the iPad. So then everything would be all the same. I think it'd be something I'd fucking consider now. Yeah, definitely. I like it. Show me, is it heavy? Is that heavy?
Very light.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what the Davers head is probably the heaviest part of it.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's the slightest quad sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, the biggest thing is keeping. See that if you press the trigger there, you'll see it. They're really easily adjusted.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But the biggest thing is the dirt on them, especially in the bog. Yeah, dust, and you need to keep them. Yeah, dust and in free,
or they'd stick, or they'd 100%. Yeah.
You've huge range of playing it.
You do, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely you do.
You know,
yeah, absolutely do. Yeah.
The benefit of them versus the quad sticks, and I'm not look at people who have quad sticks will they're quad sticks people for a reason, and they won't go again. And I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. But
sorry, is there a shoe going off that one?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And is that the quick adaptability of it? What I found with the quad sticks, for me personally, I found a lot of the time I was lifting one of the legs slightly off to get the adjustment, which was doing away with the stability that, you know, if you're, for instance, if you're perching up, like what we said there, in one spot, and you're looking down in the valley or something, perfect. Yeah. You know, because that's your line of shooting is going to be, you know, within that kind of range there. You know, you're just gonna tilt forward. Yes. Or back. Yeah. And then you do have slight side to side on the quad sticks as well. Yeah. But with that, I just find our shooting where he might or she might be braking on the left, and you know you have trees in the way, and you mightn't pick it up till, you know, say that, you know, maybe it could be gone a couple of 100 meters. I don't have to panic and restabilizing it's just you're moving, you're following your target, and then when it's a safe shot, your backstop is you can take a shot. Yeah, it ticks all the boxes for me. Yeah, absolutely. But look at. We'll do a little video and people can make up their own mind. I know there's a good bit of interest in the last couple of weeks. People asked us about sticks and so on. So that's why we mentioned them. Yeah. And we'll probably look at the quad sticks on another date, you know. Yeah, definitely. There is another type of quad stick coming out from, I can't really mention too much at the minute, but it's a kind of a 5-leg one, if you can believe that. So that'll be out soon. I'm going to be testing that. So there's a few of them. We are going to be testing a few of them to see. I'm going to definitely borrow these off you at some stage. Absolutely, man. You're more than welcome. Have a bit of a go at them and see. And likewise, Sam, you bring on the quad sticks maybe some night and see how you go with it. But I love the versatility of that. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a couple of times this year where I was cursing my quad sticks. Yeah. Because I'd like to get lower to the ground. Yeah. You can't shoot from a kneeling position with quad sticks. Yeah. Effectively, you can't. Really, you know? Yeah. So it's either fully up, more or less, or on the ground. There's not much really in between. In between, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so look, I suppose there's a couple of things just on that one. The couple of things that probably I'd when that's folded out flat, right? Yeah. I've come with this last, like, not flat, but when it gets down low, when you pull the trigger, the legs don't slide out themselves because obviously the gravity is against you. Yeah. So that is what you have to do. Now look at Jesus. poor
First
me.
world problems.
Yeah, you have to kind of just guide them along a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
When you're used to standing up and then you press the trigger, next thing you realise the third leg isn't down. You know.
Yes.
That's one of the little things. The grit on you have to keep them clean, and the legs screw out for a reason for cleaning. But if the legs aren't screwed into the bottom of that base there, they don't go up and down. As I found out one night out hunting.
So that lever clicks.
Yeah. So they have to be tightened up into the bottom of the tripod or of the trigger end.
Yeah.
But all in all, man, look at.
And sorry, am I right in saying, isn't there another button on these that you click that you when you press the trigger, nothing happens or something, isn't there?
Not on that model, I don't think, Brenny.
No,
not that I know of.
I thought I remembered one of the lads telling me that there was another button on it that locked it. That more or less, it's not on that one actually. I don't think there was one I seen before, and there was like, when you would press the trigger, you'd lock. But there was another one, and when you lock it.
Yeah, see that there's a little green lever on that.
Yeah,
that's for locking the quick release on the top end.
Yeah. No,
but
this
not
one,
on the trigger now. Not that I know of.
No, this one had another little something here.
Now there could be another generation or another model. Or maybe it was on the Gen 2,
ones.
maybe.
Maybe,
and for whatever reason they stopped it. But no, that there's, and like that, I've often been, when a target come and you start to just tense up that little bit, and you'd pull the trigger nearly by accident on the front of it, and next thing you're starting to dip. What the fuck is going on? So look, it takes a look. It's like anything. It's if you're changing from one base to another, it's going to take a little bit of time. But look, I've shot more with the forks than I have with the Davers head so far, so I can't complain about the other form. I had a decent enough knock rate. And I was getting as more comfortable. It was just that this was, I obviously for two reasons. I wanted to try it out, the podcast as well. It gives us a bit of content as well, and a bit of discussion material. And also then look, it does increase the stability. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So that is pretty. I hope that puts a good spin on it.
Absolutely, 100%.
And puts people in the know.
Marks out of 10. So, I suppose before we give it marks out of 10, price wise, what are we talking?
I think, Brenny, in around 180 quid, in around the $200 for the standard.
Okay, for the standard one. Okay.
Now that comes with the fork head and the attachment for the camera or the spot and scope, etc.
Okay.
Then the attachment, and this is where it gets
saucy.
The Davers head on top of that, I think, is about $150.
Okay.
So that little gem there is
150.
Yeah, about 120 to $150 depending.
Okay.
So that becomes $350 now pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
So 180 to 200 to start off.
Okay.
And then you add on the little Davers head.
Okay. Money well spent, I would say. Now, to be honest, just from what I'm seeing here, I would say money well spent.
Look, you try them out, Brenny, see what you think.
No, looks good, man. I like it. Marks out of 10, so what are you going?
Right, if I'm looking for the standard fork head, I'd be probably going an 8 out of 10 because you don't have that kind of stability. I think with the fork head, they could give a little. They're trying to encompass obviously too many guns, right? Or gun types and so on. But with that, what I found with my guns, there was, and you've probably found the same. There's a little bit side to side.
Yeah.
Obviously, you pair it with the Davers head. I would go as high as a 9.5, man.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah.
If that makes sense. So look at there's the mark I'd knock off is the if there could be a
spring,
a higher caliber spring in it.
Yeah.
That would push them legs when they're down lower to give you that. That's the only thing I could fault it on.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
All right.
Makes sense, man. It's a good one. Come here, before we wrap it up, just a couple of things I want to touch base on. First things first, my shotgun. We spoke about it in the last podcast, so it is over in Neil's in Kildare hunting. Got a couple of messages in about it, haven't kind of picked a worthy owner of it yet, so putting it out there again to you. Whatever your story is, send me a message if it's something that you're interested in. We'll have a bit of a chat, and someone's going to get it. It's over there. It is in very, very, very good condition. Neil was quite surprised, probably, I think, actually, at how long I've owned it for and stuff. So that's over there, and get in contact, go over, see Neil, have a look at it, and
we'll get it's somebody hunting.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the flavour of the game.
Yes, absolutely. Had a couple of women get in contact as well, so like as I say, it is fucking open to everyone. I went over and got the paperwork from me new shotgun.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. So
Exciting times.
Yeah, man, exactly. I'm looking forward to my first ever over. So yeah,
my young fella got his license back during the week for his
super stuff.
So
what did he buy after?
He bought the old bagel.
Oh, he did too.
Over under bagel.
Tell you won't bake the bagel with a stick. A lad was telling me something very interesting now. Now, don't quote me on this about bagels. And bagels were cheaper to buy here than they were they were built in Russia.
As far as I know, yeah.
That the Russian government put what would you say, like the opposite to an excise on it. So they were reducing the cost of that firearm to other parts of the world to try and stimulate sales and get sales going. So, you know, the old single barrel bagels and stuff, when they were brand new, they were cheap as fuck. Yeah, but if you were to try and buy that in actually Russia, they were expensive. So they actually put like a reduction on to try and get them out and get them into circulation. So there you fucking go.
Look, my theory, I want to get him hunting. If he's listening to the podcast, he knows himself. He wouldn't look after a new pair of runners.
Yeah.
So, and it's not off the ground he licked it probably, you know.
No.
So,
I've seen your boots.
But he's fucking worse.
Yeah.
So I said, look, start off with a good, reliable, sturdy. He could do a bit, like, he could shoot fucking clays all day with that thing. She ain't going...
No.
She'll go nowhere.
Absolutely.
It'll outlive him. So we start off with that. Let him get used to cleaning it and looking after it and throwing it.
You could use it for baiting in fence posts. Yeah. No, but like, you know, they're a super gun. Like, you know, they're no friends gun, you know.
And look, he's mad to get out now. So the lads, in fairness, the treasurer of the NRGC and Kildare Federation, I contacted him yesterday. And he's looking after the paperwork, getting him insured and so on and so forth, ASAP. So yeah, he'll be out hunting. He's joining the club officially next week, and so he'll be straight into
super stuff,
feeding and working,
and
and all the nice parts.
Savage, man, that's deadly, isn't it? That's absolutely class. I had a look at another gun, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and I've told Neil to keep it for me, and I'm going to go over and put a deposit on it. I'm just going to wait until I get this one over the line before the guards have meltdown. And it is a Browning Maxus semi-automatic. Have you seen them?
No.
Oh my God, man.
Lovely.
Oh, they are absolutely savage. I mean, savage.
Browning's some gun, man.
Yeah. This thing is absolutely gorgeous, man. It's in black. You need to see this thing.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Some of the touches on it, like the receiver for the bolt is nice and big, and there's the detail that's in it. Like I like all my guns black. That's the way I like them. Little stupid little things, right? The cover for the trigger is about 3 times bigger than a normal one, because as Neil pointed out, he said, when you're hunting a lot of the time, say wildfowl, it's cold. No matter where you are, it is fucking cold.
Yeah.
So he says you need room. And he showed me, he put it beside some other guns. He says, you imagine, there's your finger, yeah? You imagine now a good thick glove on that. He said, would you be able to get it in and work the trigger properly? No, you won't. Little things, man. But
small details, but
jump on, even to the Kildare hunt. I think you might have them on the website, Browning Maxus. Oh my God, man, it is absolutely stunning.
Beautiful.
Stunning. And then sure, I was over there, and then he was showing me all the sorts of other stuff. And man, I spoke before. We done a bit of pistol shooting when we lived in Australia. Debbie done it, loved it, mad to do it here. Like, she's the only thing. Doesn't want, like, she's not big into sports or different things, but she's off and said to me a couple of times, is there nowhere we could go? You know, she was mad to do it, mad to get into it. So don't be surprised, man, if you see me join them on the clubs.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
and it'd be lovely to know. I think there's a few spots not too far from us here that can be done. I think
that can be done. Yeah.
So yeah,
we need to get down there and see some of these places, because it's.
Look, man. Yeah, we've loads of stuff. We've huge news. We've the boys from Smoke and Soul have kindly invited us down to one of their weekenders. We have that booked in the calendar now, and we were doing a little bit of back and forth with the lads. We've some huge news coming up in terms of the podcast and trying to improve it and make it bigger and better. I think we've some plans afoot.
Yeah,
with the Birthday Bash, we have the trip to Hungary.
Yes.
I haven't been over there since I competed for Ireland there back in the day. But
Jesus!
Did I mention that before? No.
You're worse than me, lad, with that fucking deer I shot him.
But yeah, we'll say, so it'll be good to be back in my other homeland.
Oh Jesus! Tell the truth, you were the only lad in that age division. No one else.
Hold on now, right? Listen to this,
No one
man.
else had
You
the
just
money to go.
you just wait now. I'd be kind of semi-celebrity over there. I'd be getting off the plane to be a fucking red carpet coming out for me, man.
Do it, all right. Yeah. I live a puke bucket.
Here he is, Mr. Hungry.
Here's this fucking eagle again. But yeah, no, we have a couple of busy months coming up.
Oh man, it's gonna be good. And then obviously with the 1st of November, we have the IHB challenge, which we're gonna be talking a bit more about. We've loads of stuff coming up towards Christmas, fun and giggles and all sorts of plans, and we've loads of places to go down to, man.
Yeah,
so it's been suggested on the gram, on the Instagram there, that we do an Irish tour.
An Irish tour wouldn't be a bad effort, would it?
There you go.
May give up the old job.
I borrowed the outfit's camper van there, myself and yourself there, tip around.
Sorted, lad.
Yeah.
Like Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So we might just do that.
That wouldn't be a bad effort, lad. I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that. But look, there's loads to do, loads coming up. Get in contact as ever. Any questions on that we were chatting about there this evening, or any questions on that in general, except maybe like money advice, relationship advice, work
shooting
advice.
straight.
Yeah, shooting straight. Anything other than those.
Yeah.
Give us a shout.
Look, tell us your problems.
Yeah, exactly. We want this.
And we'll tell you somewhere you might get an answer.
Yeah. But shin, man. I suppose we better wrap this up.
Over and out, lads.
Over and out. Have a good one. If you're heading out for a shot, stay safe.
Stay hunting.
Stay hunting, and let us know how you're all getting on. Have a good one.
Over and out, guys.